Today, we are going to dive into something pretty deep: the invisible scripts that run our lives, the patterns we inherit from our families without even knowing it. We're talking about breaking generational chains, and it all starts with one kind of tough question.
Oof. This quote from Osho really gets right to it, doesn't it? It just makes you stop and ask, how much of who I think I am is actually me? And how much is just an echo from a past I never even lived?
You know that feeling, that constant low-level hum of anxiety that you're not doing enough, not moving fast enough? It's this frantic need to hustle that feels less like ambition and more like, well, like you're running for your life. Where on earth does that come from?
To really get what we're talking about, let's look at the author's own story. Look at this list. Before he was even 14, he was a whirlwind of activity. But this wasn't just a kid trying to earn some pocket money. This was the start of a much, much deeper pattern, a frantic energy that he just thought was ambition.
As he got older, that hustle morphed into something else entirely. It became this desperate, panicked need to prove himself. He couldn't wait for things to happen. This deep-seated fear would kick in. He'd say yes to literally anything: sourcing crude oil, finding diamonds, things he had no business doing, all because of this overpowering feeling that he just could not stop.
And this whole incredible journey, this deep dive into where that frantic drive came from, is all laid out in Chapter 3 of the book, Upgrade, by Yareem Michael Ali. It's a really fascinating look at the invisible software we're all running on.
And what he discovered was that this drive, it wasn't his. It was an heirloom. It started with his great-grandfather, a man whose entire belief system was built on one idea: to stop working is to die. And that commandment, that survival code, got passed down from son to son to son until it became this automatic, subconscious program running in the author's head.
But wait a minute. How does that even work? How can a feeling, a belief system, get passed down through your bloodline like eye color? This is way more than just family stories. This gets into our biology.
The answer is in this incredible field of science called epigenetics. To put it simply, our life experiences, our environment, our stress, our behaviors can literally flip switches on our DNA. It doesn't change our genes, but it changes which genes get turned on and which get turned off.
Okay, this is probably the best way to wrap your head around it. Think of your DNA as the computer's hardware. It's pretty much fixed. The epigenome, on the other hand, is the software. It tells the hardware what to do. And here's the kicker: software can be updated, and that software, with all its survival apps and glitches, can be passed on to the next user.
So what this means is that the really intense experiences of our ancestors, the famines, the wars, the constant scarcity, they didn't just become stories. Those experiences left little biological sticky notes on their DNA. They created legacies that were passed down to us, whispers from the past encoded right into our cells.
So you can see the conflict, right? The author was living in the 21st century with all its modern comforts, but his body was operating on the survival software of a man trying to survive a world war and feed 15 kids. The world had changed completely, but his internal programming, that frantic hustle, hadn't.
And what happens when you run outdated software on a new machine for too long? It crashes. His body finally just staged a rebellion. This inherited drive, the thing he thought was his biggest asset, became a literal poison, leading to a total health crisis. His body was screaming, "System error."
Hearing all this, it's easy to feel a little hopeless, right? Are we just stuck? Are we destined to play out the traumas of our family tree forever? Is this basically a life sentence?
The answer from the book is so simple and so powerful. No, it is absolutely not a life sentence. It's an invitation. An invitation to wake up, to understand the code you're running on, and to decide if you want to write a new program.
And this, right here, is the most empowering part of this whole thing. Because that software, it can be updated. The very same epigenetic switches that got flipped on by your ancestors' trauma, you have the power to consciously flip them off. It all starts with awareness, with seeing the pattern, and then making new choices that tell your body, hey, we're safe now. We can thrive, not just survive. This just reframes everything, doesn't it? Our ancestors didn't struggle through all that hardship just to pass down a burden. They survived so that we, their descendants, could finally have the chance to move beyond survival mode and actually learn how to thrive. Their struggle was the down payment on our freedom. And that puts you in an incredibly powerful position. Think about it. Right now, with this knowledge, you are uniquely equipped to be the one who finally breaks the cycle.
You get to be the curator of your family's story, deciding which legacies to honor and which chains to finally put down.
This is the ultimate upgrade. It's not about getting a new phone. It's about transforming what used to be a set of inherited limitations into a brand new legacy of freedom and conscious choice. And not just for you, but for every generation that comes after you.
So that leaves us with one last, very personal question to think about. You've got the awareness. You've got the invitation. So, what will your legacy be?